Good morning, dear students. I am Ramanjanelu, TGT Social Studies from TTWRS BICE, Kodangal. Today I am here to teach you a chapter. Before I start the topic, listen to a conversation of three friends. There were three friends, Rajesh, Raju and Ravi. They were discussing, one fine evening they were sitting in lawn and discussing about their future and goals. Rajesh said, I want to start a business, earn more money and so that I can lead a happy life. Then Raju said, I want to become an IAS officer, get good respect in the society and so that I can lead a happy life. Then Ravi replied, I just want to stay with my family in my village. I want to do farming in my 10 acres of land so that I can lead a happy life. Like them, we all have many aspirations. What we would like to do, how we would like to live. Similarly, we have ideas what a country should be like and the essential things that we require in a country, a better life for all people in a country and equality for all people in a country. So let us discuss topic ideas of development. So now we study the topic about ideas of development. See, like Rajesh, Ravi and Raju have different goals. Similarly, in the society, there are different people and they have different developmental goals. You ask your friends, neighbors, family members and elders, they have different developmental goals. What does it mean? It means the idea of development is different for different people. There are the different people. Let me give you an example so that you understand the topic clear. Look at these pictures. Can you identify these pictures? Look at them. So you understand that these pictures are related to construction of a dam. The government planned to construct a dam so that it will generate electricity, provide irrigation water, provide drinking water and flood control. So if I ask you a question, after looking at this, if I ask you a question, construction of a dam is a development or not development? Obviously, it is a development. But for whom it is a development? It is a development for people, those who benefit from this construction of the dam. Then who benefit from this? Industrialists, farmers, local people and landless laborers. How do they benefit from this construction of the dam? Industrialists get electricity for running the industries and farmers get irrigation water for producing more crops. Local people get drinking water for their day-to-day life and landless laborers can find the work in agriculture and industries when they expand. So as they get benefit, for these people it is an idea of development. On the other hand, there are some group of the people, for them construction of a dam is not a development. For them it is not a development. For whom it is not a development? For people, those who lose their lands for construction of the dam. They lose their homelands, they lose their fertile soils, fertile lands for construction of this dam. For them, it is not a development. You may ask, sir, if they lose the lands, if they lose the homes, government pay them compensation, they can go and buy somewhere else the lands and homes, everything they can buy. They can buy with the money which is paid as a compensation by the government, but they can't find the same place where they have lived for generations and generations. They can't find their home lands. So in this situation, for the people, those who lose their lands and homes for the construction of dam, for them it is not a development. And this construction of dam will create a lot of deforestation. For environmentalists, it is not a development. People lose the rights over the land if dam is constructed. For these people, for the human rights activists, it is not a development. The dam is not constructed just in a 20, 30, 100 acres of land, right? It requires a huge land, like 30,000 to 50,000 hectares of the land. Lakhs of the people have to displace from that place. They go somewhere else. So when such kind of the things happen, look at this. Can you identify the pictures? So these are the pictures related to a movement is called Narmada Bachao Andolan. When Government of India planned to construct dams across the Narmada river, people who lost the rights over the lands, who lost their homes, and environmentalists, human rights activists started a great movement against the construction of dam. This movement was led by Medha Patkar. You can see the woman in the middle, she is the Medha Patkar. She led a movement is called Narmada Bachao Andolan. Clear? So, from this example, three things are clear. The example that I told you about. Number one, there are different people and they have different developmental goals. What may be development for one may not be development for another. In this example, construction of a dam is development for the people who benefit, like industrialists, farmers, landless laborers, local people. It is a development. And it is not development for the people who lost their homelands, fertile soils, environmentalists, human rights activists. For them it is not a development. So, development is what may be development for one may not be development for another, and people also have a conflicting developmental goals. Based on this, I would like to ask you a few questions. Look at this. So think of these questions. What can be some of the developmental goals for your village or a town? Like construction of a dam is a development for that people. What would be some of the developmental goals for your village or a town? Do you know of any such controversy around developmental projects, policies? Find out the views on either side. How do we find solutions that are fair? So think of these questions. And in the above example, I said Rajesh, Ravi, and Raju. Rajesh wants to start a business. Raju wants to become an officer, and Ravi wants to become a farmer. Then, after the discussion, Rajesh advised two of their friends, Hari, what do you do? What do you get with the farming? What do you get with the doing the job? You have to spend all the time, you don't earn sufficient income. You do one thing, you join with me, we all start a business, earn more money. We work hard, get success so that we can lead a happy life. He said, but Rajesh and Ravi replied that, for us, money is not criteria for being happy. What does it mean? It means the most of the people like Rajesh think that money is the main criteria for quality of life. That means most of the people think that the quality of life depends only on the material things. Then what do you mean by material things? The things that we can buy with the money are called material things. For example, the clothes we wear and the house we live and the vehicles we use for transportation and many things that we can buy with the money are called the material things. So most of the people think that quality of life depends on the material things. It is a fact, it is true. That means quality of life definitely depends on the quality material things. But quality of life not only depends on the material things. They depend on some other factors. What are the factors? Quality of life depends on non-material things also. What are the non-material things? Non-material things are those which we cannot buy with the money, like the freedom you enjoy, the respect you get from others, and equality in the society and the security that you enjoy. These all are the non-material things. Can you buy them with the money? No, you can't buy them with the money. If I pay some amount, I can't get the freedom that we enjoy. So these are called non-material things. Hence, the quality of life not only depends on material things, but also on the non-material things. Now you understood. But some people argue that we can measure only the income. Like say for example, if I have 10 lakhs rupees, I can buy a car. If I have 50 lakhs rupees, I can buy a nice flat in Hyderabad. So they measure the income, that is the reason they give importance. On the other hand, we can't measure some other factors. We can't measure the equality that we enjoy. We can't measure the freedom that we enjoy. We can't measure the security that we have. We can't measure the respect that we get from others. Because we do not measure them, it doesn't mean they are not important. They are also important in the quality life. They are also important in the idea of the development. But we don't consider, most of the people do not consider. It is essential, it is important to consider these factors also, which we can't measure. We measure the income because we consider. It is wrong to think that because we can't measure, it doesn't mean they are important. So we have to consider them. Let me give you another example. Look here, if in the above example I said Rajesh, Ravi and Raju, right? In the similar way, if you get a job far off the place, high pay, good salary, but apart from the income, what are the other factors you consider? If you get a good salary, we don't go and work there. We don't do the job. Apart from the income, apart from the high pay, apart from the salary, we also consider some other factors. What are they? Can you guess? Apart from the income, we also consider some other factors like good working atmosphere, job security, and opportunity to grow and learn, and time to spend with the family. We can't measure this job security, we can't measure the good working atmosphere, friendly working atmosphere. We can't measure all these factors. It doesn't mean they are important. Apart from the income, these factors are also important in the idea of development. What does it mean? Imagine you get a job, high pay, good salary, but you don't have a job security. You don't have a good friendly working atmosphere. You don't have time to spend with your family. Then do you feel happy to work? No, you don't like to do. When you don't have a job security, it will reduce your sense of freedom. It will reduce your sense of security. On the other hand, if you get a job in your area, local area, though you get a less salary, you have job security, you have time to spend with your family, you have good working atmosphere, friendly working atmosphere. So this will increase your sense of security and freedom. Hence, it is wrong to think that what we cannot measure, not important. What cannot be measured also important in the idea of development, in the notion of the development. Do you know, for the development, people look at mix of goals. It is true that if women are engaged in paid work, definitely the family income increases and their dignity in the household increases. They get respect in the society and they are economically independent, self-confident. They have a high say in the household and they can take good decisions for their children and their education. When there are many benefits, these factors, but do we consider them in the idea of the development? When there are many benefits, then why most of the women are not engaged in a paid work? That means why most of the women do not go out and take up the jobs? What is one factor that we have to provide so that they take up the jobs when there are many benefits in the idea of the development? These are the only one factor we have to provide so that they take up the job and they get many benefits. This is safe and secure environment. If we are able to provide safe and secure environment, most of the women they go outside of the home, take up the job so that their family income increases, they are economically independent, self-confident, and they get dignity and respect in the society. They have a higher say in the household. They can take good decisions for their children, future and education. Okay. Now look at these women who engage in a paid work. So we also consider these factors in the idea of the development. Okay. So based on this, let me ask you one question. Can you give more examples for material things and non-material things? Before I said about the material things and non-material things, can you give more examples for the material things and non-material things? So from all these examples, we understand that hence developmental goals that people have are not only about better income but also some other important things in the life. Clear? So based on this, think of these questions, try to answer these questions. why do different persons have different notions of development? Which of the following explanation is more important and why? Because people are different, because life situations of different persons are different. Second question, do these two statements mean the same thing? Justify your answer. People have different developmental goals, people have conflicting developmental goals. And give some examples where factors other than income are important aspects of our lives. Think of these. Explain some of the important ideas of the above section on your words. So, based on the examples that I gave you, think of these questions. So, let us discuss the topic. You might have heard many times America is a developed country, France is a developed country, USA is a developed country, India is a developing country. And in India, Haryana is a developed state, Himachal Pradesh is a developed state. How can you say that these are the developed countries, these are not developed countries? What is the criteria we use for comparing these countries as states? Let us discuss. For me, in a classroom of 40 students, if I want to select the students, if I want to compare the students in my class, if there are 40 students, if I want to choose the students for quiz team, then I choose the students who are studious, who study well. And if I want to select the students for a sports team, then definitely I select the students who are physically fit, who play the games well, and who are healthy and tall. So here I am using different criteria for comparing my students in my classroom. Similarly, for comparing the countries, what is the criteria we use? You know, for comparing the countries in the world, we use the criteria is called per capita income. What do you mean by per capita income? What do you mean by per capita income? Per capita income means if we divide the total income of the country by its population, we get the per capita income. So, per capita income equal to total income of the country by total population. You know, this per capita income is also called as average income. So, based on the per capita income, we compare the countries in the world and states in the country. Let me compare two countries based on the per capita income. Look at this table. I am comparing two countries in the world. For instance, I have taken country A, country B. In country A, there are 5 citizens. Citizen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 citizens. And in country B, also there are 5 citizens. In country A, citizen 1 income is 9,500 per annum. And citizen 2, 10,500. Citizen 3, 9,800. Citizen 4, 10,000. Citizen 5, 10,200. So, the total income of country A total income 50,000. How do we calculate average income or per capita income? Total income of the country by total population. What is the population of country A? 5. Hence, we get 10,000 as a per capita income of country A. Look at the country B also. Country B, citizen 1 is earning 500 rupees per annum, citizen 2 500 rupees, citizen 3 500 rupees, citizen 4 500 rupees, okay. Citizen 5 48,000 rupees, and the total income of the country B is also 50,000. So, country B total income, we calculate per capita income, total income 50,000, its total population 5. Hence, per capita income is 10,000. When I compare these two countries based on the per capita income, country A per capita income 10,000, country B per capita income 10,000. What does it mean? On an average, in country A and country B, each one is earning 10,000 rupees. Does it really applicable? That means really in country A, all citizens are earning 10,000 approximately. But for country B, it is different. For country B, it is showing that on an average, each citizen is earning 10,000 rupees. But it is not fact. Only one citizen is earning 48,000 rupees and remaining 4 citizens 500 rupees. Then what did you understand by this example? While average income or per capita income are useful for comparing the countries in the world, they also hide many disparities. They have many differences and limitations. So let me compare 3 states in India. Look at this. I am comparing 3 states in India. Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Bihar in India. Okay. Haryana per capita income 1,80,174. Himachal Pradesh per capita income 1,49,028 rupees. Bihar per capita income 34,409 rupees. If I ask you after looking at this table, if I ask you which state is most developed, which state is least developed, you can say Haryana is the most developed, Bihar is the least developed by looking at the per capita income. But look at this table. Here I have taken other criteria other than the per capita income. What are they? IMR, literacy rate, NAR. What do you mean by IMR? IMR means infant mortality rate. What is infant mortality rate? Out of 1,000 children born, the number of children who die within 1 year is called infant mortality rate. What is a literacy rate? A person aged 7 years or above who can read and write by understanding in any language is treated as a literate. The rate of the literates is called literacy rate. And NAR means net attendance ratio, average attendance school students. Okay. So after comparing these 3, infant mortality rate, literacy rate and net attendance ratio, Haryana IMR 33, literacy rate 77, net attendance ratio 61. Himachal Pradesh IMR 25, literacy rate 84, NAR 67, and Bihar 38, 64, 43. If I ask you a question, after looking at this table, which is the most developed state and which is the least developed state? Obviously you say Himachal Pradesh is the most developed state and Bihar is the least developed state. Clear? So in the before table, Haryana is the most developed state, but in this table Himachal Pradesh is the most developed, which means though Haryana have high per capita income, in the factor of the health and education, it is Himachal Pradesh is better than the Haryana. Hence we understand that while comparing the countries based on the per capita income, not only the important, apart from the income, we also have to, apart from the per capita income, we also have to consider health and education in comparing the states and countries in the world, that we can understand based on these examples. Clear? So this is about it. And you know, every year Human Development Report HDR publishes the Human Development Index, ranks for countries and states in the world. It is published by the UNDP. UNDP means United Nations Development Program. United Nations Development Program every year publishes the HDR based on the education, health and per capita income. That means they not only consider income as a main criteria, apart from the income they consider the education and health in comparing the countries and states in the world. Okay. So from these examples you understand that in a quality of life we need to consider, in an idea of development, apart from the income we need to consider non-material things, we need to consider health and education, these. So look at this table. In this table Himachal Pradesh is better than the Haryana. Okay. So, you know, according to the World Development Report, WDR, the countries whose per capita income is more than $12,055, these countries are treated as high income countries. Okay, and the countries per capita income between $995 to $12,055, these countries are treated as middle income countries, and the countries with per capita income less than $995, these countries are treated as the low income countries. Clear? So, based on this, we say some are developed countries, some are middle income countries, some are low income countries. If I tell you the per capita income of India in the same year is $6,353 US dollars, then you tell me India comes into which category out of these three? Do you think it is a high income country, middle income country, or low income country? Obviously, you say that India comes into the category of middle income countries. Okay, so for comparing the countries and states in the world, we not only use the per capita income as a major criteria. Apart from this, we also consider health and education for comparing the countries and states. Clear? Now, from this table, look at this table. In this table, we have Himachal Pradesh. Though Himachal Pradesh per capita income is less than the Haryana, in the factors of the health and education, Himachal Pradesh is good. Now we discuss what are the factors that came together for the development of schooling in Himachal Pradesh, because it has a good literacy rate. See, look at this, 84% literacy rate of the Himachal Pradesh. Now we discuss development as progress over time. What are the factors that came together for the development of schooling in Himachal Pradesh? You know, like most other states in India, till the independence of India, Himachal Pradesh too had low levels of education. Himachal Pradesh is a hilly region and it has low density of population. Spread of schools in the rural areas of the Himachal Pradesh is a big challenge for the state government. It's a big challenge because it is a hilly region and low density of population. Now they have to open up many schools. So in this critical situation, but though they have many challenges to provide education for the children in the state, both the government and parents were keen on providing education to the children. Then the government of Himachal Pradesh started many schools and provided free education. The education was provided largely free. The government not only provided schools, started the schools, basic facilities like teachers, drinking water, and classrooms, textbooks, toilets, basic facilities all were provided in Himachal Pradesh for the development of schooling. A schooling revolution started in Himachal Pradesh in the year 1991. Now, when government opened, there are about 10,000 primary schools in Himachal Pradesh. Though it is a hilly region, though there are the low density of population. When government started many schools, running these schools, providing free education was very difficult. It was largely, the government had to spend more money for education. In the year 2005, all the other governments spent only 1,049 rupees per child, but Himachal Pradesh government spent 2,005 rupees per child for education. And not only these, in Himachal Pradesh, students come to school enthusiastically. They have many aspirations to be policemen, to be scientists, and to be doctors and teachers. Not only this, in Himachal Pradesh, they give high priority for the education. Gender bias is less in Himachal Pradesh. That means in other states, if there is a boy and girl in a family, parents give more importance only for the boys, not for the girls. There is a gender discrimination. But gender discrimination is very less in Himachal Pradesh. You know, in Himachal Pradesh, most of the women work outside of the home. They engage in a paid work, they earn income. Women who engage in paid work outside of the home, they're economically independent, self-confident, they have greater say in household, and you know, they can take a better decision for their children's future and growth. So these all many benefits. As a result, women in Himachal Pradesh, that is the reason they give high priority for the education for their children. And not only these, women participate actively in the village politics in the Himachal Pradesh. They formed active Mahila Mandals, and you know, women in Himachal Pradesh expect their daughters to work outside of the home even after marriage. So these all are the various factors that came together for the development of schooling in Himachal Pradesh, and the schooling revolution started in Himachal Pradesh in the year 1991. Okay, so coming to the conclusion, from this chapter we understand that for the idea of the development, income is not only the factor to be considered. Apart from income, there are also other factors to be considered, as we discussed. So in a society, when we have all these non-material things like equality, respect, and freedom, fraternity, and other non-material things, then that country will get a faster development. So I conclude that we all strive for that type of the development and society. Thank you so much.